It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a bottle of Amstel Bier Premium Lager coming in at 4.1% ABV in a 300ml bottle. Green glass, there's the bottle cap. The beer was first produced in Amsterdam. It's now owned by Heineken. Let's get the beer out into a glass, see what we get. Or brewed in the UK under supervision of Amstel Brewery, Heineken. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Heineken. A little bit of smoke. Nice carbonation. Beer in the glass. Good levels of carbonation, 1 to 2 finger white head. There's bits of sediment in here, look at that, look closely. Definite sediment in this lager. Light straw coloured lager, let's get the aroma. I've never known sediment to be in a lager before. Here we go. Light. Almost smell the crispness of it. Another warm day here in the UK. I fancied a lager. Got that kind of malty, corny rice aroma to it. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Light, crisp, refreshing. It's the type of beer I've been drinking a lot of this summer. Really surprised myself in that, well, we've had such a warm 2019 here in South Wales. It's been 25 degrees plus. It's the first day where it started off quite cool and it's just warming up now. So I'm not doing a beer review with a big red face. Easy drinking, light, refreshing, carbonation pushes the beer around the inside of the mouth. I don't think it's a 100% malt lager. I'm gonna say, I've not read the back of the bottle. Water, malted barley, sugar, hops, carbon dioxide. Okay, so they've added, it is malted barley, but they've added sugar. So I was getting the sweetness. Normally these big brewers, they brew with corn. And I always find with a corn lager, they're always sweeter. And I just got this sweetness on this beer and I was thinking it must be corn. There's no way malt would naturally taste this sweet. So they've actually added sugar to the lager. I don't know. I've had some absolutely beautiful all malt lagers and you can taste the difference, you really can. I'm not saying this is the worst beer I've ever tried. I'm not standing here saying, oh, it's dreadful, you know, yes, it's a bit bland. There's not too much flavour. Yes, it's probably a little bit too sweet for my liking, especially adding sugar to the beer. But it's drinkable, it's refreshing, and on a hot day, it's all you sometimes want. It's just something just to refresh those kind of taste buds. 4.1% ABV, like the barbecue, get a few of these in. Although, I'm trying to convince myself here that I would get a few of these in. It's too sweet for me. If you like a sweet beer, you'll probably really like this beer. It's a bit too sweet for me. I'm trying to convince myself that I would buy 4 and like the barbecue and drink 4 of these. I think I would be pretty done in after 2, if I'm honest, and that's just the sweetness. just the sweetness. As I mentioned earlier, I've had some wonderful all malt lagers, a Warsteiner being the one, and that was for me just a really good example of how these so-called premium lagers, premium beers that are in the supermarket should be made, really. Heineken, again, they own a lot of brands, they own a lot of breweries, closed a lot of breweries down in the process. So what they do is that they buy the brewery. I know a couple in Poland they just leave the building to rot, basically. A place in Wrocław, I think it's called the Wrocławski Brewery in Wrocław in Poland. It's got holes in the roof, magnificent building. Well, they used to produce this lager. Magnificent place. They were going to turn it into apartments. That fell through. The place is just left to rot. And they just take the brand. They just take, I think it's called Piast, the beer. They just take the brand. They take the name of the beer and they just brew it somewhere else. Hence, this being brewed in the UK and a license from Heineken. When really, I mean, Amsterdam's not too far from the UK. Why don't they just produce it in Amsterdam in the original brewery? I don't know. Maybe it's not there anymore. Maybe Heineken did their job on it, where they've just taken the Amstel brand and they've shut down the Amstel brewery. I don't know. I'm not really that interested in doing a lot of research before in Amstel brewery, especially when they're owned by Heineken. Didn't mean this to turn into a bit of a rant today. I'm trying to go into these beer reviews with a level head, an open mind. But there are occasions where I do want to kind of do a bit of ranting. Especially when the beer's been brewed with sugar. It's just, for me, it's not good enough. It's really not good enough. Let's rate it. I know lots of breweries brew with sugar, but some of the better premium lagers are brewed with just all malt and they taste really good, really good. That's a bit poor for me. I think I've had a few beers from Heineken recently. Desperados Red, I think that was Heineken. I had another one which was Sol, I think it was called Sol Lager, Sol Beer. Mexican type beer brewed by Heineken. Now this Amstel brewed by Heineken, and they've all been really soft. They've all been. The Desperados Red was undrinkable. The Sol was drinkable. This Amstel beer is a bit too sweet. It's just not quite hitting the heights that really a premium lager should be hitting. Rating. It's a meddling 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers.